In The Last of Us, before you ever see the danger, you hear it. With its clever design, every sound will play a role. The crunch of broken glass, the creak of a door, the erratic breathing and screaming of an infected. The sound not only helps in telling the story alongside the visuals, it acts as a warning to players, but most importantly, guides them. Unlike traditional horror games that rely on loud jump scares after prolonged silence, The Last of Us creates tension through restraint. The sound design forces you to listen, to anticipate, to fear what's just out of sight. Despite being a linear game in its design, with its carefully layered environmental audio, the world feels larger, alive, and unpredictable. Originally released in 2013 and later remade for modern hardware, The Last of Us Part 1 refines this sonic experience with advanced spatial audio. Every sound is richer, more detailed, placing you deeper into its world.
What the hell was that?
Tess, you hear that?
Yeah. Sounded pretty far away, though.
Are we safe? For now. Come on.
When HBO adapted The Last of Us, it had to rethink how the sound functions. Without player agency, the show's audio had to guide attention in different ways, through filmic soundscapes, controlled silences, and a much more traditional mix. The show stays faithful in many ways, but its relationship with sound is inherently different. So how does The Last of Us use sound to heighten tension, to build a world, and to tell its story? And how does it differ between the game and the TV show? Let's dive in to the sound of The Last of Us Part 1. The world of The Last of Us is quiet, but never silent. Cities lie in ruin, human voices are rare, and yet the world is far from empty. It creaks, it groans, it shifts, and it listens. Every space tells a story through sound. The rustling of leaves in an overgrown city, the distant chirp of insects in abandoned homes. The low hum of wind filtering through shattered buildings. There's no music pushing you forward, just the world itself making you feel its history. Interiors bring a different kind of unease, like something could be lurking just out of sight, making you second guess every step and anticipate what kind of enemy encounter awaits. And then there's the way the world reacts to you. Step too quickly and the sound you make will alert enemies, making stealth that much harder. The environment becomes something you have to navigate carefully, with the sound design playing a role in how you choose to approach certain encounters. But it's not just about tension. The Last of Us knows when to pull back, when to let you and the story breathe.
So, is everything you were hoping for?
It's got its ups and downs, but you can't deny the view, though.
These quiet moments where the danger fades and nature takes over are just as important as the chaos that surrounds them. In The Last of Us, sound grounds you, it warns you, it shapes the way you play. And in a world where survival depends on what you hear, listening is everything. Clickers are an iconic creature. Their disturbing echolocation is incredibly effective at making the player feel uneasy and tense. It's more than a creature vocal, it's a warning. The moment you hear that sound, everything changes. You slow down, you plan your next move with much more care. The room becomes a puzzle, and the solution starts with listening. In the documentary Grounded, the team shows how they crafted these unsettling and unforgettable sounds.
It was a little bit of a head scratcher to figure out, okay, how do we make it sound human but not human? Yeah. We really did not want to use any animals. We wanted these all to be human. Derek and I basically decided to hire a couple of voice actors who did some interesting work vocally to see if they could come up with something. And we worked with this girl, Misty Lee.
She started giving us these really great screeches.
And that's no process.
Yeah, that's just her voice. And it started going into this little click. We also used a little bit of Phil's voice. We combined that also with an occasional, Derek. That's just me, moving my tongue. And what that kind of did was it sort of grounded it all, like maybe in the mouth area, the wetness, all that kind of stuff. And it adds a nice texture, actually. This is a composite of all the bits I just told you about.
Unlike visual enemies in many games, clickers demand that you engage with them through audio first. Their sound design is deliberately erratic, offbeat, unpredictable, almost insect-like. They're unsettling because they don't follow a rhythm. You feel their presence before you ever see them. The HBO series recreated the clickers with impressive fidelity, using many of the same vocal recording techniques and sound assets from the game itself. But the experience changes when you're no longer in control. In the show, the clickers are terrifying to the characters and effectively used for tension and world building. In the game, however, they're terrifying for the player, as they're all that stands in the way of you and your progression in the game. And it's not just clickers. Every type of infected and every human enemy has its own distinct audio signature. Runners howl and shriek, alerting others nearby, and sound as your early warning system. But it's also a constant source of dread. You do not want to alert. Even in combat, you're not just reacting to what's in front of you. You're tracking what's behind the wall, what's coming around the corner, and ultimately what you can't see yet. Human enemies are also reactive to the player. The AI listens to you. If you reload nearby, if you sprint through broken glass, they hear you, and they communicate in real time, shouting to each other, flanking, calling out your position. The sound you make changes their behaviour.
Flank them! I've got you covered! Copy!
Stay quiet, and they search cautiously. Make a mistake, and they push aggressively. Distraction is a key combat mechanic, manipulating the AI and its ability to listen to you, enabling the player to create unique ways through encounters and giving you another ability to be creative and engaged with the gameplay. The way enemies call out, hesitate, coordinate, it all hinges on sound, and you're constantly listening and being listened to. The combat in Last of Us is designed to feel rough and improvisation, with grounded and realistic sound design enhancing it. Every gunshot echoes through the environment, loud, sharp, and final. There's no music swells to guide your emotions, just raw, unfiltered sound. Every gun sounds powerful in their own way. Pistols are sharp and piercing, with rifles and shotguns sounding heavy and powerful. And reloading in the middle of a fight can become even more intense. That foreboding click of an empty chamber, creating a moment of vulnerability and adding to that stress in the middle of a gunfight. Mechanically, every action has its own sonic footprint. Healing, crafting, reloading, nothing is silent. These aren't menu-based pauses. Time keeps moving. You're exposed, and the sounds you make can, and will, betray you. The act of switching weapons has texture, from the soft rustle and clinks of gear on your backpack to the scraping of a weapon being holstered. In The Last of Us, fear is tactical. Every sound matters. Every move you make has consequences. Every enemy encounter is shaped not just by what you see, but by what you hear, the sounds that you make, and what you dread hearing next.
Hey, you guys hear that?
Keep quiet.
Even in a world falling apart, a single honest word can cut through the noise more than any gunshot. The Last of Us doesn't overwhelm you with constant dialogue. It lets conversations rise and fall naturally.
Guess they took the easy way out, huh?
It ain't easy. For many, it was better than letting a clicker or a hunter do it for them. Trust me, it ain't easy.
like real people trying to stay connected in a world that keeps falling apart. Dialogue emerges between gunfights and long walks, filling the space not just with exposition, but with personality, vulnerability, and tension.
I just want to say I'm sorry about Tess. That's it. I won't bring it up again.
Ellie, you don't need to worry about me. We should go check on Bill.
Okay.
And it's in those small, seemingly throwaway lines that the performances really shine. As the main leads, Troy Baker, who plays Joel, and Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie, deliver exceptional performances to bring the characters to life. Joel's gruffness isn't just his choice of words, but in his pauses, his sighs, the way his voice tightens when he's trying not to care. Ellie's emotions build over time, from curiosity and sarcasm.
What? I need a gun.
No, you don't.
Joel, I can handle myself.
No. Just stay here.
Fine. Just wait around for you two to get me killed.
Well, this goes on record as the worst fucking job you've ever taken.
To anger, heartbreak, and defiance.
I'm sorry about your daughter, Joel, but I have lost people too.
You have no idea what loss is.
Everyone I have cared for has either died or left me. Everyone fucking except for you. So don't tell me that I would be safer with someone else, because the truth is I would just be more scared.
You're right. You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad. And we are going our separate ways.
Every inflection reveals who they are and who they're becoming.
I'm sorry, I didn't
The
mean
performances
for
are
this.
grounded.
Move on.
They feel real because they're restrained. No one overacts. Emotions simmer beneath the surface. When characters are quiet, the silence is often louder than words could ever be.
So is that everything you hoped for?
Jury's still out. But man, can't deny that view.
Come on, this way. Hey, let's pick it up.
And then there's the ending. Ellie asks Joel if he's telling the truth.
You want to hear right now,
Swear to me.
One last line, one last look, and silence.
Swear to me that everything that you've said about the Fireflies is true.
It's one of the most emotionally complex endings in modern video games.
I swear.
Not because of what's said, but because of how it's performed. Ellie wants to believe Joel, and the weight of everything they've been through is packed into that pause before she says quietly,
Okay.
The show captures this moment beautifully, but again, we're watching from the outside. In the game, we're complicit. We might not have made the choices that Joel made for us, but we had to play through them. We heard those conversations not in one sitting, but stretched across hours of survival, and as a player trying to protect Ellie in those situations.
But if you just keep going, you find something new to fight for. And maybe that's not what you
Swear
want.
to me. Swear to me that everything you said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
This is what The Last of Us does best. It lets performance, sound, and silence share the stage. It knows when to let a moment breathe, when not to score it, when to say nothing at all.
Okay.
The Last of Us Part 1 remake features an improved 3D landscape. Every space, every encounter, every footstep feels more present and more defined. And that's not just because of all the new assets, it's because of how the audio is mixed.
Oh, shit.
With support for 3D spatial audio, the remake allows sound to live more accurately within the space. Not just left or right, but above, below, and behind. It's not just louder, it's positional, so you can sense where things are before you ever see them.
Keep running!
And with the sound design for the environments, it's not just about tension. Environmental detail is richer across the board. The mix prioritizes clarity and perspective. Surfaces, materials, environments, everything feels like it's been tuned not just to sound clear, but to feel realistic. As a player, sound reacts to you. When you duck behind cover to listen, the mix tightens. When you move, sounds pan and move naturally around your ears. The player is inside a full, responsive acoustic world.
I hate these things.
The HBO series takes a different approach, because it has to. Its sound is cinematic, designed for a fixed perspective. The mix is built to support what's on screen. Dialogue is king, music swells on cue, and the world is shaped through layered atmospheres, foley, and score. What the show does incredibly well, though, is control. Every sound is deliberate, stylized, clean. The clickers still terrify the audience, but their impact is sculpted in post-production. The music guides your heart rate, and along with the silence is time to the edit. It's a masterclass in television sound design and mixing. In the game, that control is handed over to you. The mix adapts to your movement. There's no fixed perspective, so the sound team had to adapt a system that can react organically and intelligently to whatever direction the player chooses. Both the game and the show use silence beautifully, but for different reasons. On television, it's dramatic punctuation. In the game, it's breathing room. A chance to listen. A cue that something's coming, or that nothing is. One is reactive, one is composed. But both demonstrate a mastery of sound as storytelling. Whether through an orchestrated scene on screen, or a player-triggered moment in game, The Last of Us proves that great audio isn't just heard, it's felt.
I got you.
Damn it, Bill!
What just happened?
Another one of Bill's stupid traps. There, that fridge, it looks like that's a counterweight. Shit, here they come.
Joel!
Just hang to the rope! Ellie, how's it looking?
I'm doing as best I can!
There's a reason The Last of Us still holds such weight more than a decade after its release. It's not just the story or the gameplay or the performances. It's how all of those elements are fused together into something that feels lived in. It's a game that trusts quiet, that gives space for players to absorb, to anticipate, and to feel. And sound is a big part of why that works. Not as background decoration, but as emotional architecture. It creates tension, anchors memories, and makes every moment more human. The adaptation brought the same emotional clarity to the screen. It reshaped the story to fit a different form, with its own strengths and its own rhythms. But no matter the format, the heart of The Last of Us remains intact. A story about connection in a world that's falling apart. Games don't always get credit for subtlety, but The Last of Us built a legacy on it. And whether you're watching it or playing it, the silence, the voices, the sacrifice, and the loss, the sound of a ruined world, it all reminds us that humanity still remains in The Last of Us.